What is up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Locks presented by Scores and Odds. If you haven't checked it out already, just making bad life choices, going over to scoresandodds.com where you got picks from me, Meansy, Dino, all the greats. Plus, you get access to our nice little prop shopping tool where you can see exactly what we have projected for each individual prop, plus where the best odds are at. Like right here, Giannis, we currently have projected for 31.61 points. Best odds are at 30.5 over at minus 125. Best odds of the under are 31.5. Plus 106, almost a little hard opportunity there. Plus, you get access to Grant's Action Lounge. What is Grant's Action Lounge? Well, it's my Discord where I'm throwing in all my picks each and every day. Every pick I posted so far, every pick I have on this screen, right in here. Go. Get signed up. We got a lot of bets today, so we're just going to get right into it. Starting off with Reggie Jackson, under 21.5 points, rebounds, assists. That's what par is. Minus 115 over at Bet365. If you can't get this at minus 115, I'd probably stay away from it. I think that the odds on almost every other site are around the same. Oh, no, you can get a MGM still at minus 115. So DraftKings, fairly sharp book, minus 140. FanDuel sitting at minus 125. Caesars, minus 151. So it's an easy under there. Kawhi over 30.5 points, rebounds, assists. This one scares me a little bit. We currently, it dropped significantly after the news came out. So I'd probably hit it at 25.5 now. But yeah, I got a 30.5 and the news came out that he might come off the bench. Not feeling great about that bet, but it is what it is. Crap happens. Paul George over 34.5 points, rebounds, assists. I can almost assume that this has gone up too. So at least that one's sitting pretty. Then to Kawhi news, him coming off the bench, got to see a big uptick in usage to Paul George here. So it's just a spot where this line was way too low. Now it's probably about where it should be. Reggie Jackson under 13.5 points, minus 115 over at Caesars. Again, Jackson's not going to have a massive role, not going to get a ton of usage. Easy under there. Westbrook over 6.5 rebounds. I got it at minus 113 over at Caesars. If you wonder why I'm going so fast, because I have way too many bets for a 2-game slate. We currently have projected at 7.6 rebounds. Russ Westbrook, always a big rebounding threat pretty much every time. While the injury does worry me slightly, should be full go again. So I'm hitting it, or I hit it. Drew Holiday over 30.5 points, rebounds, assists. You can get it minus 115 over at Caesars. Let's see where the other lines are sitting at. Holiday minus 115 over at MGM, still a minus 115 over at Caesars. Has already moved up a full point over at FanDuel. Drew without Middleton on the floor and with Giannis on the floor, averages well over this. Let's go ahead and pull up Court IQ here. If you haven't checked out Court IQ and don't have another cheap subscription, probably go get Court IQ. It's probably my favorite tool out there. You can see exactly what each player did with certain players off the floor. So we go over here, we take Giannis off, or not Giannis, we take Middleton off the court here. It's loading. Boom. Points, rebounds, assists. So we averaged 23 points, 8 assists, almost 5 rebounds per 36. That is roughly 13 plus 23. That's 37 right there. We're getting the line at 30.5. Joel Embiid over 41.5 points, rebounds, assists, minus 115 over at Bet365. I believe it's higher at most other spots, but not high enough to keep you away. MGM's got it minus 115. Full point higher over at FanDuel, so probably stay away from that one. Take the over at 41.5. Embiid's way better than this. I know it's a tough matchup. I think it's just lower because Harden actually had a decent outing the first game. So easy over for me. Giannis over 48.5 points, rebounds, assists, averaged around 51. This is one of the few ones where RG projections actually don't agree with me. We currently have them projected right at about that line. But as you can see, most places it's significantly higher. 50.5 over at PointsBet, 49.5 over at Caesars with heavier juice on the over, 50.5 over at FanDuel. So MGM is clearly not fully caught on and either had Caesars until I got it. So moved to full point since then. So pretty happy about that one. I'd still take it at minus 120 over at MGM. PJ Tucker over 4.5 rebounds. PJ Tucker is going to be out there a lot. Always is. We have him projected for 5.31 rebounds. Easy over. James Harden under 22.5 points. Harden is not going to have the same efficiency and not the same usage as he had in the last game. You can get this at -106 over at FanDuel right now. I got it -103 at Bet Rivers. Might still be the line over there. We don't have Bet Rivers up here. But we have him projected for 20.5. He was just hyper efficient, 12 for 12 from the line, shot really well from three-pointers, shot really well. Just very efficient in the last game. Don't expect that to continue. Easy under. Johnny Gaudreau, over 2.5 shots. Don't ask me anything about that. I don't know. I bet it because of offshore. Just looking at offshore stuff, done very well. As you can see right here, cleared about 6K so far on NHL this year. That's going back to April is when I started betting it. So absolutely crushing it. Absolutely crushing almost every single sport. NFL has had a bit of a downtick the last 2 weeks, but still got a 53% win rate. Up a decent amount of money. Basketball's obviously been great. NBA or MLB absolutely crushed the last few months. Let's see. Drew Holiday, more points than James Harden. Again, goes back to the fact that Drew Holiday averages 23 points per game per 36 without Middleton on the floor. Should see an increase in usage for him here. Harden, we have projected for the exact same amount of points. You can get this over at DK at the head-to-head under player props. +150, easy for me. More hockey. Don't know that guy's name. Can't pronounce it. Creator, under 0.5 points, +150 over Bet Rivers. Claude, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I don't know hockey that well. I just make money on it. -116 on the under of 2.5 shots on goal. Zach Hyman, over 2.5 shots on goal, -111 over at Bet Rivers. Justin Truba, under 2.5 shots on goal, -111 over at Bet Rivers. Let's get to some football. I only got 2 picks for the night. Marquez Callaway, over 2.5 receptions, -123 over at Bet Rivers. Callaway, last few games, 7, 3, and 6 targets. Olave's coming back, which does decrease his workload a little bit, but Arizona's been pretty good at focusing on shutting down the number 1 wide receiver each and every week this season. Callaway should see an increase in volume, 2.5 because of that, more than he would normally with Olave, who just eats up all the targets. So easy over of 2.5, -123 over at Bet Rivers. Taysom Hill, under 23.5 rushing yards, -110 over at Bet 365. Don't know what this is over at other sites. Let me check. Going in, player prop. Rushing yards, Hill. See, Taysom is at 31.5. Most other places, -115 at 32.5. I still like it at -115. I got -110, but if you don't have Bet 365 in your state, still pretty solid overall line at -115. Hill has been hyper efficient. Like, usage hasn't really gone up with him much this year compared to last year before. Obviously, it was different when he was in the starting lineup. They're just using him with gadget plays. 32.5 rushing yards. He's going to get 4 to 6 rushing attempts. So, assuming they averages the 5.5 rushing yards he averaged the prior 3 seasons instead of the 10.8 rushing yards he's averaged so far this season, and this should be an easy under here. 32.5 rushing yards, just too high. More NFL. Rashard White, under 20.5 rushing yards. You get -110 over at Bet 365. Let's see what it is at other spots here. I know that a lot of people don't have Bet 365 in their state. You can still get -110 over at MGM. Nice. So -110, still like that line. It's Fournette's offense. White's going to be used more in the passing game. Blitz, I think, has a projected for like 15.5 rushing yards, easy under. Marcus Mariota, I know that he has been rushing a lot this season. He's been pretty solid, strangely enough. Obviously, just beat the 49ers. They're 3-3, which who would have thought that? He's been averaging 40 rushing yards per game, but he's broken off some big rushes last 2 games, 20 and 23 yards. Going to sit right around 5 to 7 attempts in this spot here. Assuming that he's going to average under 6 yards per rush. He's currently averaging 4.8 on the season. It's an easy under. Trevor Lawrence under 13.5 rushing yards. You get minus 110 over at Bet365. Again, but you can get minus 110 over at MGM. Similar odds on MGM and Bet365. I just can't bet on MGM at all. So just go with Bet365 if they're the exact same odds until they fully cut me off. But Trevor Lawrence, it's an easy under. Same other side of the game. Daniel Jones under 34.5 rushing yards. Easy under. Jones, while he has been running a decent amount so far this season, match versus the Jags, solid overall spot. I got it minus 110, so I already moved to minus 137 over at Caesars, minus 120 over at MGM, minus 120 over at DraftKings. So clearly a lean on the under at both those sites. I have been projected for 26.5 rushing yards. So easy under at Bet365. If you have in your state, hammer it. Taylor Heineke over 14.5 rushing yards. I got it minus 115 over at DK and Superbook. Superbook only allows you 100 yards or $100 per bet. DraftKings finally cut me off almost completely, except for, don't know why they let me get in plenty of money on the head-to-head, so they just clearly cut me off on props. So got that going for me. But Taylor Heineke, when I look at last season, guy was willing to run, averaged had 60 rushing attempts, averaged 5.5 yards per rushing attempt. This offense likely to be down in this game, should easily run. Also taking the under on Brian Robinson, under 55.5 rushing yards. Matchup versus Green Bay, not a great matchup. Easy under at minus 110 over at Bet365. Geno Smith under 19.5 rushing yards. Got it at Geno Smith. I got it at minus 115, minus 118 over at Superbook. You can get it minus 120 over at MGM. Again, they won't let me get any money down. Caesars already moved it drastically. DraftKings is moving drastically. Clearly, the money is on the under. Geno Smith has been running a decent amount this year, but he's kind of forced to in certain circumstances. Just probably too high of a line. He's hit the under in 4 out of 6 games. So he's going to rush 3 to 4 times. Averages less than 5 yards per carry. Hitting the under. That's pretty much it. We'll go ahead and do parlay. Look at Parlay IQ, see if there's any good bets popping out here for the Cardinals game tonight. Likes AJ Green under receiving yards. Likes Kamara over receiving yards. Likes the over. It's interesting. I'm not terribly surprised. Let's go ahead and make a parlay here. Again, you can just click on these. They'll throw it right into Olave under receiving yards. Guess that correlates to Kamara. All right, so I clicked in some of the best bets that are just popping up. Green under receiving yards, Kamara over receiving yards, and then Olave under receiving yards. I'm just trusting them. Says the odds should be at plus 284 as the break-even point, so we get higher than that, and we're sitting pretty. Go ahead and check out Colorado. You just put that in. If you're using the app, it's way simpler than this. Let's see what odds they give me. Plus 579. All right, I'll throw 100 on that. Boom. There was an error. There you go. Let's try it again. All right, done. Boom. In. That's it. That's the show. We'll be back again tomorrow with a lot more bets because we got football coming up for the weekend. We got basketball. We got hockey. I think there's MLS stuff going on. More baseball that I've pretty much given up on just because I don't have time. That's it. That's the show. We're out of here. Later, kids.